Welcome to Babbles Travelling Yarns. I'm doing a little bit of travelling on this in that I'm literally just going for a little walk. It's a beautiful day finally, the rain has stopped. But I'm going to show you a few little jobs that I'm going to be doing that I had done in the past couple of days. And the first thing here is sloe gin. I've actually been collecting sloes, which are the fruit of the blackthorn, for the past couple of weeks, and I've just been throwing them in the freezer. And I have a stunning glass bottle from M&S. I think we got gin in it like 3 or 4 years ago, and I kept the bottle because it's so pretty. It actually has a light on the bottom. It's adorable. So I put in a cup of sloes and a cup of sugar, and then I'm going to actually put in on top of that some gin that I have. Now, for some reason, I've been collecting like bottles and bottles of gin, but I've been like breastfeeding and pregnant for the last like 2-3 years, so I'm not really drank any of it. Excuse the awkward hold of the child there. She's starting now. Yeah, so I've got lots of this gin. This is the Gordon's dry gin. But I've got lots of different types. I've kept the really nice Irish stuff. I've got like a dingle gin and a couple of different things, but I really do love a gin and tonic. Now, a child has just been handed to me, so you might hear some little noises from a 5-month-old as I'm recording this little voiceover, because sometimes you just cannot avoid children and life getting in the way. And I was talking to a friend actually just about how I've really just stopped filming things. I've stopped doing podcasts, and it's just, you just never really get the time to do it alone, especially without children, and I really don't want to put my children on the internet. And also I can just see myself, I've changed so much in the last 3 years, my body a lot, and that's just something that makes me cringe a little, and I never used to cringe when I was filming, so that's something I'm gonna have to get over. Anyway, so the sloe gin, I'm just gonna give it a little shake around, make sure the sugar is working its way around. It'll dissolve anyway in the next few weeks. But yeah, just give it a little shake, and also it's kind of cool to see. So I'm just going to put that on top of my shelf with my little plants, which I'm trying not to kill. And the next step, I thought, I actually have some vanilla essence in some rum. There's just it's just literally cinnamon, vanilla beans in rum, just cut open. So I literally have just added some more just to make sure that the beans are all covered in the rum, and I actually have some more ordered, so I'm going to shove some more in, and that should be nice and strong. But it's literally the easiest thing on earth to make vanilla essence, and I have little bottles, and I'm going to put together little packs for presents for Christmas as well. Just give them some vanilla essence and maybe some jam and maybe some sloe gin, and we'll see how we go. We'll see who I love enough to give all these lovely things to. Wouldn't that be nice? And I've decided to clear out this little this little spot underneath the counter to put all my little preserving projects. Now, the next thing I decided to do, I was gifted some apples from my neighbour, and I'm going to steam juice it. So the juicer that I got from Future Forests, I think. If you're in Ireland, futureforest.ie, they're down in Cork. Was it Future Forest or was it Fruit Hill Farm? I think it was actually Fruit Hill Farm. And this is a steam juicer. It comes in 3 parts. There's water in the bottom, and then you've got the kind of extractor part in the middle with the little plastic hose, and then the top part has the sieve, and that's where you put your fruit, and the lid, of course. And it made some lovely apples, apple juice, which I mixed with some oh, excuse me, that was rude. I'm sure they won't mind. That's okay. So I'm just washing all the apples now. I started off actually peeling them, and then I was like, what am I doing? I'm making juice. So I just washed them and fired them and cut them all up. Now I cut them all up as well because really needed to make sure that there weren't any bugs in there, and turns out there was quite a lot of bugs. So I'd say I got them from my neighbour's tree, and you can kind of tell that they were already previously eaten. So I'm just chopping them up through the flesh just to see if there's any little buggies travelling around in there. But yeah, so then you just pop them into the top of the steamer. And I was keeping the apple cores because I decided to make a little apple scrap cider vinegar, or apple scrap vinegar. Technically, I think it's apple scrap, not apple cider, because I think to make apple cider vinegar, you actually have to use cider. So now this is an example of an extremely buggy apple. You can see the bugs have actually gotten in, and they've just tracked around, and they're just eating around all over the shop, and there's actually a bug in there, and it's extremely gross. I think I give you a close-up. Delicious, just what you wanted. You can't really see it, the camera's not great on my phone. But yeah, so I chopped up all of the apples just to have a little look, see if there was any extra protein going into my apple juice. Didn't really fancy it. And then I think I'd actually just composted everything. I don't think I made any apple scrap vinegar from this batch because of all the bugs. So that was nice. There's so many apples this season. Apples everywhere. I'm sure you're seeing it too. If you're in Ireland or the UK, I think the weather just combined to absolutely laden down all the trees. I actually ended up putting the cores and every good part in with the apple juice, and I threw in some lemon juice as well because I happened to get a load of lemons in Tesco. They're on offer, so I needed to make some lemon juice, so I just threw a little bit of lemons there as well. My husband has decided to cut the lawn. Actually, I did tell him to cut the lawn. Anyway, so I'm just testing out a little mic that I got years ago. I don't even know if it'll work, but we'll see. What do you think? What do you think? Are you singing? Mm-hmm. So in order to use the steam juicer, I've got a little induction hob, and I have it set so you need basically somewhere for the juices to run. So I set it up so there's a little step here, and it's actually perfect. So I just put it into a Stanley thermos flask that I had, and that little clamp doesn't exactly it's not totally waterproof, you know what I mean? It doesn't stop it completely, so it's always good to like have something under it. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it cook for about an hour and a half at 2000 somethings. I don't know what that is, but anyways, that is one. So then my next little project, as that's cooking, is to sort out all these lemons that I decided to buy at 4 o'clock in the morning. And because they were on a deal, I think you got 4 or 5 lemons for 99 cents, and I was like, you can't pass that up, you know. So I've got this Braun electric juicer, which just makes such short work of it. It's so good. So I'm just halving them all. Now I wouldn't use the outside of these lemons for anything else. They're not organic, which is why they're so cheap. But I actually have ordered a box of organic lemons from crowd farming, and I've ordered directly from the farm in Spain, and I've ordered also a direct box of garlic from Spain as well, because I really want to do a lot. We just go through so much garlic. I tried to grow some myself this year, not very successful. I'm really going to try again this year. I've got all the garlic bits, or what are they called, bulbs, ready to go, but yeah, so we're going to see how we go. Anyway, back to the lemons. So yeah, so all I really want to use these for is the juice, but also I want to, I think of this afterwards actually, and I end up putting the leftover lemon skin and the rind and everything into my big thing of white vinegar, my big 5 litre bottle of white vinegar, and it'll just make a really nice smelling disinfectant. So I'm really happy with that choice. But Yeah, something that when you live in Ireland, and I'm sure everybody knows that, you can't get everything all around, all around the year growing in Ireland. It just doesn't happen. So there's a lot of things imported. So I'm trying to live, since we moved here to this house, I've really made a conscious decision to live a bit more in tune with the seasons, which means like noticing when the seasons change. I love tracking when the light kind of goes, when the dawn changes, the times of sunrise and sunset. And I think it's just really helped me kind of connect a bit more with just the world around me, really. But especially it's helped me, I really enjoy doing the preserving of the food and things when they're in season. So you just get the best of them and the best deal oftentimes, to be honest. I do end up using lemon juice a lot. So I actually just hate squeezing lemons. So I do it all at once. And then I actually can the lemon juice. I water bath can the lemon juice for about 10-15 minutes. And it helps preserve it. I'm going to have to do something with this baby, but I'll let you watch whatever's going on here for a minute. Yeah, so that's a super quick project, really, really easy. I ended up with 1 billion seeds. I'm like, oh, will I plant these lemon seeds? They won't come to anything, but they might grow. They might not live, but I think they'll be cute little lemon trees. And I'm also half thinking there is something that can be done with these lemon kind of the mesh. I was thinking about making them into scourer pads. Apparently you can make them into body scrubs and everything, but I'm not sure. If anyone has any ideas, do send them my way, because I'd be very interested. Everything's just going to end up in the ocean plastic anyway, so if we could prolong their momentum that direction, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Another really handy thing I learned is that lemon is really good for cleaning your wooden chopping boards. So I didn't wash it with water, like soapy water, I just left the lemon sit on it for a little while, and apparently that's supposed to really clean up the boards and protect them. Now on to the next stage, which is finding the jars. Now these have all been cleaned meticulously and then packed up, so they are ready to go, and the lemon juice is going to be cold going into them, and then I'll put them into a cold canner and then boil the water up together so that I don't get any jars cracking or anything like that. I ended up with, I think it was 5 jars in total. As you can see, I gave up on that tiny little funnel, which was ridiculous. But yeah. So the lids, I just sterilised really quickly with a hot soapy water, and then threw some boiling water over them as well. But apparently, if you're water bath canning them for like longer than 10 minutes, you don't really need, they just need to be clean. They don't need to be perfectly sterile, which makes me feel better about that. Now, I have read some things that say that you should strain out all the pulp and everything out of it with it like a cheesecloth, and but apparently it makes it go bitter over time. But honestly, I go through this so much that I didn't bother, and I said, sure, look, an extra bit of protein or extra bit of fibre in there can't be too bad. But yeah, so hot tip, the hot water that I'm using to sterilise my lids is great for heating up a little bottle of pumped milk for a tiny baby that the husband is minding while I'm doing all this kitchen stuff. So that's always good. Also, I'm obsessed with this mug. My friend Peace got it for me, and it is just so cute. I love it so much. So just popping them all on there, just fingertip tight. That's probably a little bit too tight, Grace. Anyway, you don't need to like really ratchet it down. And you fill them to, I didn't show, but you fill them to just about 1/2 inch under. And then we're on to lunch. Listen, the easiest lunch, so satisfying, so nice, really quick. I think I got this kit from Lidl. It's about €4.30 or something, and it just makes like really easy pizza. So Friday is normally pizza day, and my husband had an appointment in the morning, and he was just feeling a bit so he was like, I really want pizza. I was like, fine, perfect, I'll sort that out. So I had chicken left over from Tuesday, I think, and I basically used up the meat in that, and I had loads of barbecue sauce. I really want to make my own barbecue sauce this year. I have lots of frozen tomatoes from a farmer's market that I managed to clear out at the end of it and my mum's garden, my mum's tomatoes, which I feel like I robbed a bit too many. But one of the things I want to do is make and preserve barbecue sauce and like a marinara sauce, which I can use for pizza sauce and pasta sauces and anything really to do with pastas, and kind of an Italian tomato sauce. I think I have enough to do like I'll do half the batch barbecue sauce, maybe a little bit less, maybe 1/3 of the batch barbecue sauce, and then 2/3 anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm just checking the level of the applesauce, the apple juice. It's really firing out of that hose there, and see how much it's filling up, so it's really coming out really fast, which is lovely. So I think I just got this barbecue sauce from some random place. But these the jars that come with this pizza kit are actually a perfect size, and I keep them for everything really. I love canning with them. They're a lovely little size for things like if I'm making pesto and I can freeze it in the jars, or just small little bits. So I'm just spreading that out, and then I'm just gonna put some barbecue sauce on top, and I have my chicken all set up, and I cut up some red onions and just some cheddar as well. So yeah, there's a few things in the barbecue sauce that I need, and I think I actually have it all. So I'm ready to go on that. I don't know why I'm so intimidated by preserving tomatoes. Apparently they're really easy, and I'm like, what do you mean easy? They look scary. But yeah, and I'm not going to use my own home lemon juice for canning, just in case anyone, it has to be like bottled and at 5% acidity. So I just buy lemon juice for preserving and stuff, just to make sure that it's safe. So this is just going to go in the oven for about 20 minutes, and a little bit of extra barbecue sauce on there. Yum, 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 yum. That is so delicious. I don't know why I've just suddenly become absolutely obsessed with barbecue sauce. I never used to eat it before. Anyway, and then while that's in the oven, I'll just do a little bit of hanging up of the nappies. We're doing cloth nappies because we have them. And they are so lovely. I love using them. They're so good. And I love this hanger section. I think this steel hanger, I can't remember where I got it. It might have been from a terrible online cheap site, beginning with T, ending in U, you know what I mean? But yeah, one of the reasons that we are choosing to do it is because of, I suppose, environmentally and the rubbish wise, it doesn't, cause any rubbish. But the electricity used to wash them and the water used to wash them is probably money-wise equivalent to buying disposable nappies in Ireland. Here in Ireland, I think a pack of 36 size 3 kind of baby nappies is about €3. Now, I'd love for the Americans to say, because Americans and Canadians, crazy money for your nappies. And I'm not buying Pampers. Like, Pampers is crazy money. I wouldn't go near that now with a 10-foot pole. I'm buying like the cheapest nappies from Lidl, which I think most parents, if they're on a budget, would be using. And I also got, but yeah, there's loads of different types of cloth nappies. These ones that I'm hanging over right now, they're like a really fancy origami style nappy, and I'm using them for night times. They're a little bit faffy. They're cotton, and it's like an extra layer, but it holds everything tight, so it actually stops leaks. I haven't had a leak using those ones, so they're quite good. Anyway, this is lunch. Delicious. Very tasty. And the child was crying, so she needed a mummy. A bottle wasn't going to do after a while. So we just sat down and we had a little chill out session with our kitten, with our baby. I think we watched Superstore, which was really, really funny and really nice. So I fed baby to sleep, and then I decided, right, let's pick up this room. It's a bit of a mess, especially the floor. The floor gets filthy. So I'm just tidying up some bits, really, to be honest. This front room is basically our everything room. This is our child's playroom. All the toys are in here. All the books are in here. The TV, like there's always shite everywhere, to be honest. I got that lovely rug it's a hand-woven rug, and it's a hand-woven blanket, the blue one there I was just folding, from Eddie Doherty up in Donegal. Absolutely amazing. I've had it for about 10 years now. So beautiful. Maybe not 10 years. Did we get it I think we got it on our honeymoon, which was about 5 years ago now. So what I really wanted to do was clear up some space to test out my spinning wheel, because this night was the night before, it was culture night in Limerick, and the Worldwide Spin in Public Day was on the following Saturday. So I decided, do you know what? Let's crack out the spinning wheel. I'd organised for us to demonstrate in town, in the marketplace. And I really hadn't touched my wheel in such a long time. So I was like, right, let's get this sorted. I'll put that down just in case the baby wakes up and I need somewhere to put her. She does love looking at the wheels. So, it's a bit of entertainment in case she does. So I sat down, and after a really quick hair change, I pulled out this lovely fibre that I got from my friend Erica. And this, I believe, was a Shetland, one of her own. She'd carded it herself. I don't know if she has sheep or not. I think she got the fleece and then she carded it herself. And then, if you'll see the state of it, my cats got to it. Because if you ever have cats and you have a sheepy fleece in the house, I mean, you're asking for a little paws to go in and a little felting job just for them, which is so annoying. So that was quite frustrating. This tea was delicious, actually. It was oat straw, chamomile, some rose petal, and some self-heal, and some nettle, I think, as well. Delicious, absolutely delicious. So I'm just setting up to do a little bit of spinning here, and in a second you can hear that there's a little issue, perhaps. So it sounds a little bit like a croaking frog. So join me as I try and find out what the hell is going on. Why is it making that sound? So initially it's coming from the treadle at the bottom. And so I'm trying to like reduce tension a little bit. Maybe that's like the first step to any kind of spinning wheel issues. So second step is just oil every moving part. Because honestly, the spinning wheel has been sitting in a corner for a couple of years with intermittent use. So I'm oiling the feet, the treadle, any little joint that moves. I'm just shoving some oil. And I'm using this sewing machine oil, which is really, really handy. I, of course, decided to film with my back covering where I'm putting everything. But yeah, this sewing machine oil can also be used for, it's quite simple. It's quite cheap stuff. I think it's a Singer, but it can also be used for bikes and anything really. Yeah, so now the thing is, when I'm moving the wheel, it doesn't make that sound. So it's only when I'm like putting pressure on it and like moving it with my feet. So I'm just oiling the bottom down here, the treadles at the bottom. And I've noticed that like there's only a hinge on one foot and then the other one is kind of attached to the board across it. So it's still happening here and I'm like, what is going on? So then I'm thinking, let's lay it down and see what is going on here. So underneath, there's a problem underneath it. And it could be that I'm thinking that the board underneath is like rubbing off the wood, making that strange sound. It's definitely down there at the back. So we're just gonna have a little break and a cup of tea. And can I like tolerate it? Can I just put up with it? Because I've got the culture night tonight, so I need to just kind of push through. So this is me just kind of tipping away, and no, this is a no. This is very annoying. It's annoying me a lot. So I'm trying to figure out what is going on. So there's definitely a sound coming from somewhere. I'm wondering, is it here maybe? That's another place. Oh, there's a little mark in there. Oh, I think it's this. That's supposed to be just a hole, but it looks a bit broken. I think I might need a new leg. How would I fix that? So the bat that I got was a little bit felted because my cats got to it, sad face. So what I ended up doing in order to spin this was actually taking out a little bit of the fibre, like hand pulling it, and then folding it over my finger. And yeah, you'll be able to see it now. So I basically am hand drafting it. So I pull out a bit and I kind of line up all the fibres by just pulling it out so gently and then creating like them all lined up. And then I fold it over my finger, and then I'm basically spinning a woolen style over the on the fold basically, and it's really, really nice. You get some lovely drafted fibres, and you could do like just a bit at a time. It's very handy actually. It's a nice little way if you've got a felted bat or anything that you're having trouble spinning, as long as you're not trying to do a worsted spun. Worsted spun yarn is basically where all the fibres are lined up perfectly, like to end, and it's quite a strong fibre. And I've been handed a child, so we're gonna try a little spin with a baby. She's at the stage where she's actually okay, but she's starting to reach for things. So I'm pretty much at the end of my spinning with baby phase, which lasts approximately 6 months until they start reaching for stuff. For before then, probably 4 months really. I shouldn't be at it. But she's such a little placid child. So I actually managed to do a few feet of string. So I'm just kind of playing around with this yarn or fabric or wool. It's Shetland, and I just wanted to get spinning again really. So I'm not really like too concerned about making like the perfect woolen spun or the perfect, worsted. And to be honest, I'm never really into that. I spin because I just love spinning. I don't mind having a non-perfect fibre yarn at the end of the day. And to be honest, when it's all applied up, you really can't tell the difference. It's all lovely. I think one of the things I would love to work on, maybe I'll make it a goal for next year, is to actually knit with the yarn that I'm actually spinning, that I've actually already spun. I think that would be lovely, just to actually learn from it a little bit more as well, because you can really only learn from how you like yarn spun by knitting with it or making something with it. Then maybe that'll like inform my spinning practice. Maybe I'll get a little bit better, but I just love the act of spinning so much that it's pretty mindless for me. And if I have to concentrate too much, then it takes the joy out of it a little bit. But I honestly feel like it all washes out in the end. I can't believe how good the little baby is there. Oh my goodness. I'm aiming to keep faces out of anything really. It is tricky, and it is one of the reasons that I have stopped making so much. It's difficult to keep the faces out really. But yeah, so it's one of the reasons that I've stopped filming. It's because baby's always on me or around me, or if I'm not with a baby, I'm working and there's children all over me in the evenings when I'm not, so it's just a tricky thing really. But you'll see I actually made a little seat belt for her so I could have two hands, and she's reaching but she can't actually reach it. She's tired, she's rubbing her little eyes. But yeah, made a little seat belt with the another amazing use for a shawl is to strap around and tuck it under your bum, and then they can't really go very far, so that's nice. And that's me, just the fibre that Erica gave me, it's not washed, so it still has the grease in it, so my fingers are so soft. And yeah, that's also really nice. Oh, there we go. And we got the hands going. So it might be the end of our spinning time together. So then this was that night then. It was culture night inside in Limerick Milk Market, and it was so lovely. I just applied for a stand and our spinning group, our knitting group, our craft group. And then if anyone fancies joining, it's on Sundays, every second Sunday.
Guys, can I get anybody a coffee?
And there's some fabulous people here. Oh my, that's all my yarn there in a big bunch.
I might get Liz or Debbie or something.
But I have bought some, but most of the time I've just been spinning and then putting stuff on. So it was so much fun. I had the traditional traveller, and then my friend just beside me there had an electric wheel, and then there was a modern kind of Leot. It's a plywood wheel. But yeah, so I'm just chatting here, enjoying Spain to put it around me. Oh, I really missed it. So good. So, and then this is the next day, and I'm just showing off my little fabulous ring sling. I'd love to weave a ring sling. And then the next day we went to Cloughjordan Apple Festival. The apples have been amazing this year. Absolutely incredible.
You get that mostly online. If you Google like Peru Island,
planted approximately 5 billion apple trees, and they made a festival so that they would stop rotting and falling on the ground, so people would actually come and use them. So they had this apple press set up, so you grind down the apples and then you put them into this press, and then you sift out the juice, and then you can work with it. And so you see them putting them into these sacks or something, little packs, and you can see that my little bird went back like 17,000 times until he tasted the juice. And yeah, so, and the apples were absolutely everywhere, beautiful. And you could literally just pick off any tree. They're like free. It was free to enter, free to take part, because they're just dying for. And then I ended up having to carry the baby, and we just filled the buggy with apples, and I'm still working my way through them. Oh my gosh!
You had him. Our baby.
And we just went for some little walks here and there, and that was really enjoyable too. The weather's been really nice. And then my next little job here, and I had a little helper join me, and we were making potions with some elderberries. And one of the tricks that someone taught me was to freeze the berries and then use a fork to just brush them out. Didn't have a great berry year. It took me a while to find them. Amazing flower year, but the berries, for some reason, they were either gone over, turned into raisins, or they were green, or they were just gone. So I don't know. It's so funny because all the other berries have been wildly successful this year.
She was. She's ready for her photo too.
Hasn't been, but yeah. So I've got my two little helpers here, and I had to keep reminding my eldest not to eat them because they are slightly mildly toxic before they're cooked. So you have to cook them all up in order to eat them properly. So so I ended up I actually don't even know how much this weighed. I just threw loads of things in, and I had a load of frozen lemons in my freezer, so I just threw it all in, and didn't even use a splash of maybe I used a splash of water, maybe a little bit of apple cider vinegar in there just to kind of make sure it wasn't scorched. So put them in, and then next I actually was starting to pull in some herbs from the garden. This is a bunch of lemon balm that I found in the garden that had absolutely gone wild. I remember planting it, and I planted a rosemary at the same time. The rosemary got strimmed, and then this one managed to survive. And then this is the cucumbers that I've managed to salvage. They've kind of gone a bit marrowy. They're small little pickling cucumbers, or they're supposed to be. And I just got a little hair tie, bundled all the lemon balm together, and I'm just gonna hang it in my hot press. I don't know if anyone has, like, in England they were called airing cupboards. It's called a hot press. It's basically where the boiler is, so it's a nice warm room. And it's at this point that I think I'd done enough preserving for the weekend, and I made myself a coffee. So thank you so much for joining me this week. I'm trying to get videos out every week on Wednesdays, And so we'll see how we go for the following week. Thanks again for joining me. If you have any questions or anything about what I made, do pop the questions down below, and I'd love to chat to you again another time. All right. Bye bye.